stream, and we're gonna get into some improvements, open questions. If you have them, let me know as I can. Questions if you have them. Oh, as I can see them in real time, we can just interact smoothly this way. We see each other on the other side. We're live. We are live indeed, Moonlight Master. Bring this in here. So this is you. Chat is now on display. Hands and questions as well. And I mean, in theory, you should also have poll functionality, which we do have. One sec. All right, guys, we are using a poll, as you can see, to my left-hand side. It says a hand with 4-bet. So basically what happened in this hand was this player 4-bet me pre-flop after I squeezed. So I guess he open raised. This guy calls. I 3-bet. He 4-bets. And I end up calling the 4-bet. And you guys can vote if you would also be 4-betting the 9-8-7-6 double suited on the button in this specific scenario against the squeeze. And you guys can see on this side what the poll function is, how many of you guys would agree or disagree, whatever you're saying there. In the meantime, I'm going to answer this question here. Hey, Jay Nandes, I work with Party Poker. What are we thinking about the new sit-out options? I work with the Party Poker dev team and interested in your feedback, knowing how much you have been volume grinding. Well, that is true. Then reach out to me on Discord. I don't think this is the best place of discussion. And also, yeah. I'm already in some sort of cooperation with Party Poker. I'm not sure if you know that, but I think the best way to reach out would be on Discord. And we can have an in-depth discussion about that in there. In terms of the sit-out option, I don't like the new sit-out options. I think they are too difficult to click on. It takes too much time thinking to figure out how you want to sit out. And I think we need to improve them essentially. Do you ever play 5-card PLO? Think there's money to be won online playing it? I think that there is money there's money to be won online. But you got to be careful where you're playing it, because if you're playing it on the apps, there's also quite a bit of collusion going on and other issues. And I would be careful there. Jay Nandes, is there a tax loophole playing on a poker site that is abroad, just controlling buttons locally, having all transactions I cashing out in a foreign e-wallet? I mean, I would be extremely careful doing any of this shit, basically. I don't know. I guess you're from Norway, but I would say that again, there are two things that are sure in life, right? Number one, you're going to die at some point. Number two, you're going to pay taxes. So I would be really careful with stuff like that, basically. I mean, I would just not do it. But that's more accurate in terms of like the way I think about it. Do you think WSOP will be postponed because of Corona? I don't know. I'm not sure. Might be. Will your book be in PDF? I will pay full price, of course. I don't know. Below the stream, there's already a pre-order button. Did you check that one out? So here, below the stream, there is the available in July 2020 pre-order now, right? Let's click on this. And it says ebook and paperback. You can already add it to chart. Mastering Small Stakes PLO by myself. You can pre-order it on DNB Poker. And here is the link basically to get there, or head over to DNB. Is the Poker tool free at the moment with Mastermind? The answer is yes. And it will be free for a while, at least another 30 days. So head in there into the PLO Mastermind, jnaspoker.com, download the bucket tool and use it. You guys have been voting here. Most of you guys, 63, 64%, would not be for betting this candidate. We're going to finish the poll over here and then open up the bucket tool to see if we can find some explanations, and I'm sure we will, about this spot at hand. It's 100 big blind steep PLO 500. So this is the bucket tool, which is the project name. It actually will have another name that we're going to shortly release, but doesn't really matter as much. So here, PLO 500, 100 big blind steep. We're just going to go into the game tree, which is here. Fold, fold, fold. Button opens. Small blind calls. Big blind squeezes, which is us. And then back to the button. Click on download, and you can download basically the preflop ranges in play, like the optimal response for the button. And here we are. And you can see button is supposed to fold 51, almost 52% of the hands in this squeeze scenario. And I guess it's because the small blind is supposed to cold call very tight. And the 9876, double suited. For all the guys that are already using the bucket tool, there is a pretty big update coming as well very, very soon. And we can see that all these combinations are supposed to call, like they're not in the 4-bet region. They're all calling. Like if we want to go into 4 bets, right, in this spot, again, this is the optimal response for the button, right? The blue part is the folding range, the green part is the calling range, and the red part is the 4-betting range. You can also just double click on the 4-betting range here, the 10%, and then you get this window that shows all the hands that are 4-betting over here, and we can look, for example, for hands that you know, don't have an ace, because obviously aces are 4-betting a lot. Let's see what's going to happen here. Not sure if it's going to accept this syntax, but I think it should. Can you elaborate on the other issues regarding 5-card PLO and apps? I'm not that familiar with it, to be honest. But I just know that security measures are very important when it comes to online poker. There are different ways of sort of cheating, like you can collude, you can cheat, you can use bots, stuff like that essentially. And it's difficult to track unless you have like a lot of budget allocated to it. I'm not sure what the cost is freeze down here. That's kind of weird and also unseen on my end at least. I'm just gonna restart it in a second. It probably would reappear, but I mean, it's really quick setup anyway. Let's go back to this thing here. Fold, 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 raise, call, squeeze, and then button response. Okay, again. Here are the 10% of hands that are going to 4-bet. Bring it up over here. Ah, it actually opens up all of them because it didn't separate like strength buckets and whatever. Now it makes more sense to me. Okay. So what we could do though is we can actually look into rundowns specifically in this spot. So I'm now going to choose only double suited 3 Broadway card rundowns. So that would be King, Queen, Jack, 5, for example, double suited. We're going to look into double suited rundowns with 0, 1, or 2 gaps. And I think also 3 card rundowns with 1 Broadway card. It's going to make more sense if you guys see the actual cards in there. Okay, so if we have a double suited rundown with no gap, 1 gap, or 2 gaps, we are 4-betting 23% of the time. And in here, you can see like what hands are going to 4-bet. And the hand that he had was a double suited rundown without a gap, right? So 4-betting hands would be Ace, King, 10, 9 double suited, Ace, King, Jack, 10 double suited. Obviously, those like really high cards essentially. But then also like Jack, 10, 7, 6 double suited, Queen, 10, 8, 7 double suited. So if we are like narrowing this down to 0 gaps, which is the hand that he had, the hand type, then you can see the 0 gap hands here, 0 gap, are actually going to call 91%. So if you have like a zero gap rundown that is double suited on the button, you're going to call 91% of the time. You're going to 4-bet only 9%. So like most of the hands that are 4-betting are not zero gap hands, but they are like, if we go to 2 gap hands, for example, 32% are going to 4-bet. And if you go down here, you can see 10, 9, 6, 5 is, for example, 4-betting. Ace, King, Jack, 9. What else do we have? We have hands like Queen 10, 8, 7 double suited, Jack 10, 7, 6 double suited. So a bunch of these like disconnected hands or more disconnected hands are going to 4-bet. And of course the question is why? Why are we going to turn a hand like a Jack 9, 7, 6 double suited into a semi-bluff by 4-betting the button? And the answer is because the EV of calling and the EV of 4-betting is actually really close. So you have to think about how well is your hand going to play when you call and you play a 3-bet pot in position. And the better connected your hand is, the more EV you're going to have in a 3-bet pot, because you have more playability, you have more flops to hit, essentially. You can hit flops really strongly, and you prefer a high SPR. So you don't want to turn a hand like 9, 8, 7, 6 double suited into a bluff, because it has too much value in a 3-bet pot. But a hand that has less value in a 3-bet pot, for example, Jack 10, 7, 6 double suited or Ace 10, 8, 5 double suited, is a hand that actually would make more sense to then come in for the 4-bet. So that's why these hand class, or this hand class, the zero gappers are not being 4-bet much at all. As we saw here, 91% of the zero gappers are gonna call, and then 9% are gonna 4-bet, primarily the ones that block aces. It looks like, yeah, that's pretty much it. Like Ace, King, Queen, Jack is 4-betting, and that's it in terms of the zero gappers. Now, if you think this spot, which is kind of an interesting spot, right? We open the button, small blind calls, and big blind squeezes, is difficult to learn more about in general, then you can also head into a training session. So you can see overall we're folding on the button 52% of the hands. And I personally find it kind of difficult to define what hands are we folding versus squeeze here. So when I click on the training button, and we're going to open up a small training session here. And this automatically loads 50 hands from this situation into your training tool. And what we can do now is we can click on Start Training. I'm going to remove this here and this. Oh. And we're going to head into training right over here. So this hand was an open, for example, on the button. We're facing a squeeze. We're obviously going to fold. And this is obviously going to be a 4-bet. But let's move into more difficult hands like this one, for example. Button versus big blind squeeze. What should we do? So we can either fold, call, 4-bet, and you guys can vote right now for this hand. So you can use a 1, 2, or 3 in the chat for the options right over here. 1 is fold, 2 is call, 3 is 4-bet, and it's going to pick up your vote immediately in real time and then display it on the screen. So this is your vote essentially here. Yeah, you guys agree it's going to be a fold. I'm always going to wait for like 20 votes and then cap it, and then we're going to continue. So the first 20 guys get in there essentially. So you guys are in for the fold for 90% of the time. I'm going to say yes, that's true. And when you click the fold button in the quiz, you can also see the expected value of the other options. So if you were to call, that is actually minus 5.7 big blinds. Like the average loss in this hand would be minus 5.7. And if you fold, the loss in this hand will be minus 3.5. So why is folding minus 3.5? Because you open raised for 3.5 big blinds on the button. So when you fold, you're going to lose 3.5 big blinds. And that's why the expected value here is minus 3.5. But as you can tell, if you call this hand, it's actually a massive mistake because you're going to end up losing way more. Minus 5.7, right? Okay. Next question. We have ace, jack, 5-4 with a nut suit. 1, 2, or 3 guys over here on the top. Fold, call, 4-bet. Hey, Janandis, what is the software called? This is called, this is called the Bucket Tool. And it's a new software that we have launched in the PLO Mastermind as a beta version. So if you are a PLO Mastermind member, you have it for free. And in around 1 to 2 months, we're going to release it to the public, and we're going to have different subscription levels in there as well. Oh, we already have a lot of votes here. I was trying to cap it at 20, but we're already at 27. Okay. So this is actually quite mixed. You guys are looking for a call or fold here. Pretty even. I would say we're going to call with a nut suit. And that is correct. You can see actually calling is minus 2.5. And obviously folding minus 3.5. So calling actually quite a bit better than folding in this case. So most of you guys were correct. But it's pretty close already with this one, right? As you guys can tell. Next hand here will be a fold. I'm just going to skip this one because it's really bad. And this is also really bad. I'm going to fold this one right away. Okay, this is like this is weird, right? This is weird. I'm just going to grab something to drink. Be back in like 30 seconds. Okay, most of you guys say 4-bet. I actually don't think it is a 4-bet, to be honest. I don't think it's a 4-bet. I wonder what Shilver said. He says 4-bet as well. I'm going to say fold. I'm going to say fold, guys. Fold your aces. Put them in the muck. I'm out. Totally ignore me. Totally ignore me, guys. Let's cut it out of the stream, right? We're out. We're cutting. Cutting. Cut. Okay, okay. Jane Anders will be commentating live with Stapes on the Galfin Challenge. It doesn't look like that. Okay, this one is interesting. I mean, yeah. I mean, I was wrong on that, on the aces as well. So I guess like I can be wrong more here. Let's have a look. I will take your aces anytime. Yeah, the difference wasn't even close. It was like plus 7.5. Here, almost everyone goes for the call. Some guys are 4-betting. What do you guys think? Mini call? I would also say call, guys. And that's correct. Calling is the best option. 98%. You can see sometimes there are like small chunks being dragged over to like 4-betting 2%. And usually when the number is in the like 1, 2, 3% range, even like up to 4, 5%, it's usually a conversion issue, which means that I would ignore it. It just has to do with the way the sims are run, essentially. Like you cannot run these sims to the very, very end. But if you would run it like for another week, it would like converge into 100% calling, essentially. So don't be confused by like 2%ers, guys. If it is 20%, that's different. And then you will also see an EV that is way closer. Next hand, ladies and gentlemen, Queen Jack 10-7. Does this say anything about how deep we are? I can see aces, queen, ace 9 being a fold if we're super deep. We also have 200 big blind sims as well, and we could compare that as well. I also wonder 200 big blinds deep. What should we do? I would fold. I mean, but I was wrong before. I'm just gonna load another instance here, and we're gonna look at the 200 big blind situation. By the way, I think small blind has us in pretty bad shape with his hand, and I would fold. You guys are very, very mixed in this one. 53%, 54% gonna fold. The rest is gonna pretty much call. I'm gonna say fold. And We are right, guys. Most of us are right with a fold in this case. And I think it is because of the 3 clubs. If you look into this little suit variations button and we click on it, it opens up every possible combination of Queen, Jack, 10, 7. So the same cards, but also the different suits. Unless my computer is deciding today he wants to crash. But it never did before. What are you doing to us? Okay, here we go. So, you can see here, 86% are folding. Like, even the single-suited ones, it seems like. Only the double-suited ones are calling. Like, if you go single-suited, which means 2 of a suit, fold. Dude, they're folding. Like, even single-suited is folding. So only if we are double-suited, we're going to call 100% of the time. But we're actually never calling even single-suited in this case. Here is, by the way, the 200 big blind situation here. So we can move into 200 big blinds, right? Oh, here, 200 big blinds, fold, fold, fold. Button raises, small blind calls, big blind squeezes. We're going to download the button's response and see if ace, 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 9 is going to be a 4-bet at this point. This is 200 big blinds now. We're gonna use ace, 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 like trip aces and see like at the whole picture. And the answer is we're just not folding. Like, we're 4-betting most of those combos and some of them are being called. If we go into rainbow suit, I'm not sure if rainbow suit is RS. Is it RS or is it, what is it? No, it's not RS. What is it? Rainbow. Guys, RR. There we go. Why is it RR though? Rainbow. Like rainbow, rainbow? Gotta ask what the logic is there. Are you loading, bro? Oh, music is slightly too loud. Okay, thank you very much. Well, I'm not sure if you guessed right, to be honest. Let's have a look. I can see the syntax here, actually. There's a syntax button in the mastermind, by the way, guys. Like a link. So we don't have the suits in here. Double paired, face card, and so on. Oh no, we have rainbow. RB, rainbow. Okay. Now we know that Shulo definitely has just guessed. Okay, rainbow trip aces are gonna flat 95% of the time. So the villain stack, like this, the stack size in this sim is 200 big blinds for everyone. That's how the sim is set up here. So we're gonna get rid of the 200 big blind sim over here. And we're gonna go back into the next hand. This one is gonna be a fold, even single suited. That was actually surprising. Obviously, we're gonna 4-bet double suited aces. King, 9-6, guys. Let me know. Yeah, I'm not sure what this actually means here. Looks like maybe it could be a simulation as opposed to GTO. Like, you reach the GTO conclusion by running a simulation. I would definitely call. You guys know I was wrong before, but I would just call. I mean, I would not fold. I would definitely not 4-bet. That call is the only logical conclusion here. How many votes do we have? 16. We're gonna go to 20, guys. Get in there fast. And oh, one more. So does PLO Mastermind have any free content to buy to get a feel for the material before buying? Going to try to run up 0 to 10k since I want a giveaway. We don't have at the moment any free content in there. I don't think so. Maybe in the future. I can tell you though that we have around 500 coaching videos in the PLO Mastermind from 4 different coaches. We have small stakes content, even micro content. We have a course called Escape the Micros. We have a course called Crushing Small Stakes PLO. We have made high stakes content as well. We have 4 different coaches. We have 400 quizzes. So you will find a ton of value in there. Doesn't matter where you're starting, doesn't matter where you're at the moment. And it is just like the top-notch content in the industry. So from a content base, it is just the nuts. But it depends on like, do you actually want to get into learning the game? And do you want to put an effort into it? If so, it's the best place. But it depends also more on yourself. You know, like if you are committed to try that for a month, for example. But if you are, I'm 100% sure like you will not be disappointed. And yeah, we're making free content all the time here. Like for example, this right here is also free content. It is just not the content in the Mastermind. Like Mastermind is much more condensed or much more like small videos, you know? Smaller, shorter videos, more to the point, more conceptual and so on. Okay, we're gonna finish this one. You guys gonna go with call, I agree, and that is correct. It's like way better than any other option, essentially. Calling in this case. I think there was another question that I was just thinking of. I think that was it, right? I would ignore the 13% for bet here right away. At the 13%. Mainly looking to sort out massive leagues. Haven't played for a few years and noticed the level of play even at smaller stakes got much higher. Like, I coach a lot of people, like around 100 people for like many hours individually. And the idea of just pinpoint me towards a couple of leagues has never been a good idea in terms of mindset. The way I would approach it is more like, hey, I'm trying to like learn this game and I enjoy that. I enjoy the progression. I enjoy the game in itself. I'm interested in the game, right? If that is your mindset, you head into it with much more of a position of a learner. If you just want to iron out some leaks, I don't think that's like the right mindset to have like, you know, long-term success in it, essentially. Even if it's just success on a smaller scale. Just consider that. All right, you guys were right in this one. Ace 8 deuce deuce. Let me know what you guys think. And is the Mastermind good for MTT PLO? Yes, we also have specific MTT content in there, theory and also reviews of different stakes. Actually, this is the Mastermind here, by the way. Let me just navigate you through quickly. So, put this a little bit lower. So this is the Mastermind, and you can see here in the courses section, we have in the other tab, tournament strategy as well. We have 29 lessons, 16 hours of content. We have even pre-flop charts for 20 and 30 big blinds. And you have introductionary section, pre-flop theory, post-flop theory, hand reviews, live play, and railing final tables. So 29 videos about tournament strategy in PLO. So it's all there. I mean, I look so whiny in that picture. Whiny? Or what does that mean? These, let's have a look. Here? Like, oh, what? You have a lot of chips there. Like, you're thoughtful look. Would you ever come up with a stand-alone PLO course? I don't think so. I don't think it makes too much sense because the game progresses really quick. I also appreciate getting feedback. You know, you get feedback, and people are like telling you, hey, I want to hear more from that thing, or learn more about these stakes, learn more about this concept, and so on. based on the request, you create the content. What about this hand? Did you guys vote? You did vote. Folding. Really? It's usually not good to go against Twitch chat because you guys have way more brains combined, but I'm gonna call. And I'm right. I'm right, guys. Improved the result by 0.5 big blinds in this hand. I'm gonna call. So I think what is important is to always get the macro overview, right? So in this case, again, we're folding 51.7% of the hands. And I'm now going to go to the bucket tool here. I mean, to the bucket section. And I'm going to choose we have like basic categories, like 18 basic categories. And I'm not sure if my computer is going to crash if I mark all of them and create. I mean, it's not going to crash. This is a beast. Well, let's see what happens. We're going to create a bar chart with 18 categories. I've never done that actually. Let's have a look. So, what are we going to see here and why is it helpful? Let's hide this for a sec. So here we can see all the categories, like the 18 categories that we use in the Small Stakes PLO course and their response on the button, right? Here we have double suited aces. They're going to 4-bet every time, which is red. Then green is call, blue is fold. And single suited rainbow aces are going to 4-bet every single time as well. They are here. And then we have Broadway pairs that are double suited. They are like 4-betting 40% of the time. And the hand that we have was like a small pair single suited, right? So I'm not going to look for that one. Let's have a look. Where are the pairs? Broadway. So here we have single suited and mid-low pairs, right? Number 6. And you can see 55% are folding and 45% are calling. So I click on this specific category, open it up, and then I can see what hands are going to fold. And we can see here Jack 10, 9, 9 rainbow is going to fold. So like rainbow suits probably. We're going to say rainbow. Rainbow 100%. So 100% of the mid-low pairs are going to fold. Can I get rid of rainbow? Or actually I'm going to say single suited. So single suited, going to call 50% of the time. What hands that are mid-low pairs are going to fold? Queen 9, 8, 8 is going to fold. King 9, 8, 8. King 10, 8, 8. Queen 10, 8, 8. So basically 8, 8. Now we can scroll down here a little bit. Queen 10, 7, 7. So some disconnected stuff basically with like broadways that are not, like that are quite dominated. King 9, 8, 8. So basically the disconnectivity, Jack 10, 4, 4. 9, 6, 5, 5 is even folding, which is also sort of disconnected. So single suited, relatively disconnected stuff. 10, 9, 9, 4. Jack 7, 7, 6. So it is disconnected and also not nutted. Like you can see not an ace high suit in place here. So if we use a hand like ace 8 deuce deuce, we would see that with the nut suit here, we're going to call every single time. So it is a mix of connectivity and nuttiness that is going to make us that is going to make us call essentially. Are you actually just dismissing win rate as it determines two results? Wait, are you talking to me? Or what? Oh no, you're not talking to me. Okay. What is the main difference between small blinds and big blinds 3-betting range? I think small blinds range is a little bit more murky because he has more incentive to 3-bet because he has to he wants to force out the big blind. And the big blind's 3-betting range is more polar. So like some of the kings are just going to be called in the big blind that you might want to 3-bet in the small blind. We're going to use the next hand here. Ace, king, queen, queen. 1, 2, 3. Guys, let me know in the chat. Oh. Is it possible to have a software where you upload a session and it shows you the best solution for each spot? And if we played well, or should do adjustments. Just an idea. Not sure if that's possible. It's not really possible because. So, what is this? You know, like what is this spot here? This spot is a model, right? It models a certain situation, but reality is always a little bit different than the model. So in this case, for example, it is exactly, you know, everyone plays 100 big blinds. The button has a GTO open raising range. Small blind has a GTO flatting range, and the big blind has a GTO squeezing range. And then we're going to get in this model, the response of what the button should be doing in this specific model. And if you would adjust the model for every single spot you're uploading, you would have to run the entire sim one more time, which would take months in order to actually adjust pre-flop and post-flop strategies. So you have to work off models in order to make it actually feasible. Otherwise, you would have to wait months for the solution of one hand. What are you guys saying here? We're going to go for a call. I would agree. I think most of the doubles, like most of the big pairs that are going to be 4-betting are double suited, unless we have aces. So if we go into single suited Broadway pairs, which are here, you know, number 4, then you can see that only 10% are 4-betting. What hands are 4-betting? Ace, king, king, ace, queen, queen. And what's interesting is that they are not with a nut suit. So they have less value in calling. I mean, here, ace, queen, queen, 5 has actually a nut suit. Ace, king, king, 5, no nut suit. With trip suited hands. So I could imagine, like, well, ace, king, king in general is 4-betting every single time. Ace, queen, queen, I would guess quite a bit lower. 63% of the time. Ace, jack, jack. 22% of the time. Ace, king, jack, jack primarily. And we had ace, king, queen, queen. So maybe we actually we might have a 4-bet, guys, because we have ace, king, queen, queen. We have ace, king, queen, queen. Oops. Back to number 4. Actually, 92% 4-bet. With single suited ace, king, queen, queen. I mean, that's kind of cheating now. Jesus was GTO says, Sub J9 is enjoying these study stream lessons. Keep it up. Thank you very much. Also, nice nickname. Guys, I knew it. You saw? I knew it. I am a solver, okay? Are we calling versus shove? I think we're definitely calling versus shove. We're committed already at this point. I can check it out though. Yeah, I mean the 4-bet is just like way too much. Like you have to call it off basically. But you can check it out here. So fold, 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 button open, small blind calls, big blind squeeze, button 4-bet, small blind fold, and then big blind jams. And now what is our response? 0.01% fold. So we're going to call off all the hands we 4-bet essentially. We don't even have to look into it. So this is a 4-bet, which is kind of surprising. It's kind of surprising. We know that all aces are 4-betting, even the trip aces. Okay, this is interesting. Ace, jack, jack, 8, guys. We talked about Broadway pairs before. And we also typed in ace, jack, jack, right? Remember? Ace, jack, jack in itself, single suited, is 4-betting a decent portion. I think it was 22%. But what kinds of ace, jack, jacks? That's the question. I believe it is going to be like ace, king, jack, jack, wasn't it? And ace, jack, jack, ace, pretty good hand to call and not 4-bet. So I think we're just going to call. I think we're just going to call. Gonna wait for a few more votes here. We have 17 votes. Okay. You guys are with me. We're going to call and that is correct. We're gonna call. If we go back into this thing for a sec and we type in ace, jack, jack, single suited. I'm not sure if we can remove aces or not from the syntax yet. Let me just see. That's yes, it is possible. Okay, that's great. So ace, jack, jack is gonna 4-bet on the right hand side. You can see it here, right on the right hand side. Ace, king, jack, jack. Then ace, queen, jack, jack. Ace, jack, 10, 10. Yeah, so ace, queen, jack, jack, ace, king, jack, jack, ace, jack, 10, 10. And then it starts mixing with ace, jack, 9, 9. And we have ace, jack, 8, 8. So it's kind of close there as well. Cool. But we were on the right side there. But there are some similar hands that are mixing. Ace, jack, 9, 9. Ace, jack, jack, 9. This is a fold. This is a 4-bet. This is a... Oh. I skipped it, or what happened? 1 second. 4-bet. Queen 10, 6, 6. Again, the spot here in question, maybe I should put it up somewhere, I don't know. And we have it here, button versus big blind squeeze, what should we do? Again, the macro strategy is to fold 50% pre-flop. Just gonna bring it up here one more time so I can show you the other chart. Button opens, call, he goes for the squeeze, and we're gonna download our response. So again, this is our general, like this is our entire strategy with the range. 50% fold, this way. 52% fold, 38% call, and 10% 4-bet. So a lot of hands are folding, and I'm going to say this hand is also a fold. You guys all agree. I mean, 91% of the time, 91% of chat is agreeing with folding. I say yes, and the answer is correct. It's a fold, and actually quite a big difference towards calling. Next hand, we have ace king 7-8 with the ace king of hearts. Jnandis, is 16 GB of RAM enough to run Bucketool? I think even 8, maybe 4 GB would be enough. We don't run any sims on it yet, but we don't run any sims on it. So you only open sims. It takes very, very little RAM or computing power at all. So it runs smooth on like basically any system. So don't worry about that. It's gonna run as smooth as here. Like it doesn't require any CPU. Like it doesn't require much CPU or RAM or anything. I think Ace King 8-7, by the way, is a fold in my eyes. It's very, very dominated, and we did see some singles with stuff that is dominated. It's gonna fold a bunch. A lot of guys are calling here in the chat. 65% so far. I'm gonna start investigating one more time into these categories, right? So we have Ace King 7-8. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm actually gonna, well, no. First we're gonna look it up here, and then we're gonna restart the training with these buckets activated, so to speak. So where is Ace King 7-8? It is basically 2-card connectors on the top and 2-card connectors on the bottom. 2 Broadway and 2 low connectors, which is here. Single suited or rainbow, 2 Broadways and 2 low connectors, right? And you can see 82% are folding. 82%. Wow. I'm going to say fold. I was saying fold anyway before, but we're going to say fold. And it's incorrect. Wow, it's a call and sometimes a 4-bet. Are you kidding me? That's like one of our primer bluffs or what? What? I mean, it's mainly calling. Wow. Let me look into this category. Is this one of the hands? Single suited, 2 Broadway, 2 low connectors. This is the category. What hands are gonna call? Ace King 5-4 with a nut suit. I get that. I get Ace King 5-4. I get Ace Queen 5-4. I get Ace 10 9-8. But Ace King 8-7. Ah, okay. Well. It looks like with the nut suit, as you can see all over here, it's going to be a crystal clear call. Yeah. That's surprise. It's kind of an outlier, you know. It's kind of an outlier. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to start a training with all these categories activated, right? And that will allow me. You will see it in a second. In the training window, I will basically be able to click on the bucket, on this little symbol, and it opens up the category right away. You'll see it in a second. Okay. We have a new set of hands here. You guys can already start voting. Ginandis, can we have some training for 200 big blinds? Anytime, it's already in the tool. But we're gonna move over to the next spot that we played today. But if you want to work on 200 big blind strategies pre-flop, head into the bucket tool. Start creating a training session and let's go. Easiest call so far, really? Ronald, you're never 200 big blinds deep, lol. That's a nice troll. Guys, put in your votes. A773 nut suit. 1, 2, 3. I'm gonna go to 20 votes and then move it to the next hand. I'm unsure about this one. I mean, Ace 8 deuce deuce double single suit was also a call, so I think it's gonna be a call for sure. So what I can do now is I can hover over the question mark and it shows single suited mid-low pairs and it shows the entire strategy, right? Fold 55%, call 45% with this category essentially. If you click on the bucket, it opens up the this bucket in specific and you can see what hands are folding in general. 10-8-7-7 trip suited. Jack 8-7-7 trip. Jack 8-7-7 single. So I think these are like, I think the issue with that hand is like it's not nutted and often dominated. And then we see some disconnected stuff. Queen 8-7-7, King 8-7-7, 10-9-9-6. I'm surprised 10-9-9-6 is a fold, but it is. 9-9-8-6, Jack 10-7-7. So a bunch of stuff, but I think with the nuttiness of the pair, like if we had a pair and a 3-bet pot, we're good. And with the nut flush draw, we're going to call these hands. And we're good with calling. And most of you guys were correct. Next hand here, we got kings. King 8-3. You guys want to see a fold? I think this is a fold. If we look into the category, single suited Broadway pairs or rainbows are folding 43%. So quite a few folds in there. If we do click on the buckets and see what hand combinations are folding a lot, 10, 10, 8 deuce, queen, queen, 9 deuce, jack, jack, 6, 5, 10, 10, like 10, 10, 7, 6. Wow. But especially disconnected stuff with low suits. You can see here king, king, 8 deuce, no suit. I mean, king, king, 8 deuce, no suit is clear. I think this one is just going to be a fold, basically. And it's actually a split. It's pretty close, apparently. Actually, most of those hands are calling. I mean, obviously we have a king high suit. But it's actually like more of a 50-50 spot here for sure. So that's very surprising. It really values nuttiness. I think we underestimate by how much it values nuttiness. That's why like ace 7-7 with a nut suit is going to be a call. And then a hand like 10-10-7-6 could be a fold. It really values nuttiness. King Jack 10-3, guys. I would go for the fold. Again, domination, nuttiness is really important. This hand is like hard dominated. It is single suited. There's no like big pair we can hit. There's no enough flush draw we can hit. It's not very connected. It's very dominated by the squeezing range and the small blind's flatting range. So for me, it's a clear fold, and that would be the correct option. And you guys were on me with this one. Next one, 10-10, 9 deuce. Not even an open. If it is in there, it is an open. I'm going to say fold, by the way, to the squeeze. Even though we have a pair, it's just not going to make it. That's correct. We should be folding. All right, now it gets interesting, guys. Ace 9-5-4 double. Guys, we are still live on Twitch doing a study stream right now. People voting for different hands in action. Join us on twitch.tv /JDynasPoker. Okay. What is chat saying? I'm already wondering about this one. Most of you guys are calling, and I would say I agree. That's correct. What is the second most popular option? 4-betting, right? I think that the 4-bet hands are a little bit different. If we look into double suited ace-x hands, I mean, these are the ragged hands, but I think it's more like... How's it going against Peter Nielsen? What spot is this? You can see it in the question that is being asked at the top, right? Like big blind versus a button versus big blind squeeze. What should we do? Like if you have ace X that has no pair, and you're double suited, right? Like what hands are going to be four betting? Wait. Ace X without double pair. How do we get to the double suited version? Well, now it does have a pair. What is the syntax again? So one pair is OP. So it doesn't have OP. This is a 100 big blind, yeah. It's going well, thank you for asking. Nice. Okay, let's go with... Doesn't accept it, but if you look at that, well, let's look at this one. Ace X double suited. Let's remove aces here. Let's remove aces. Let's remove kings. Let's remove queens. Is that working? I'm just trying to figure out what the syntax, like what the syntax is already capable of. Essentially, we're like expanding it all the time. Doesn't look like, yeah, it is accepting it. Doesn't have jacks. Doesn't have tens. Okay. So what hands are going to be four betting? Ace Queen 10 9 double suited, Ace King 5 4 double suited. Like usually better structured stuff, basically. Ace Jack 10 8 double suited, Ace King Queen Jack double suited, Ace 10 8 7 double suited, Ace 10 8 7. So usually better structured stuff. If you go to the bottom of our four betting range, which is, let's have a look. Ace King 6 9 is like one of the weakest hands. We would be four betting with an ace that is double suited. Ace Queen 9 6, Ace 10 9 5 double suited, Ace King 10 6 double suited, Ace 10 6 5. So in general, like better structure than the Ace 9 5, the Ace 9 5 4 essentially when it comes to four betting. All right, next hand here, Ace Queen Queen Deuce. It's a tricky one. We talked about big Broadway pairs before. We saw that Ace Queen Queen single suited is four betting a bunch. So it's really close. Ace Queen Queen Deuce. Leo comes in. 4-bet. You know, Ace, King, Queen, Queen is 4-betting, right? And hands like Ace, Queen, Queen, 10, I think are also going to be 4-betting, but the deuce is just probably going to call. That's my logic at the moment. And of course it's wrong. Of course it is wrong. Let's have a look. Ace, Queen, Queen. Again, Ace, Queen, Queen, 4-bets. 63%. So what hands are not gonna 4-bet? Ace Queen Queen 7 trip suited, Ace Queen Queen 7 single suited, Ace, queen, queen 5 trip suited. Ace, queen, queen 9 trip suited. So if we go to single suited, which means 2 of a suit, not 3, we're going to 4-bet almost 80% of the time. Like ace, queen, queen apparently is like a really high frequency 4-bet. I would not have 4-bet that aggressively, honestly. I think the idea is this. Maybe. Small blind is calling quite a few kings. Big blind is squeezing also quite a few kings. So if we're 4-betting a hand that blocks aces and is weaker than kings, so a deuce is better than the 7 in this spot. Probably because we want our opponent to have like Jack 10, like Jack 10, 9, 7 double suited, 10, 9, 8, 7 double suited, right? We want him to have a 7 essentially. That could be one of the logics behind it. So we look at a 5 here. Ace, queen, queen 5, 4-betting 94%. Ace, queen, queen deuce single suited, 86%. The 3 is 88%, and the 4 is 93%. And it also adds some connectivity. That's a good point there. That's a good point. Next hand, king, king, 4-3, double suited. So I would just call this hand. Oh, a lot of you guys are 4-betting. Wait. No, I don't think we're 4-betting. I wonder what happens with kings though overall. So we're gonna click on, we're gonna look into Broadway pairs. 4-betting 40%. Okay. Type in king, king, double suited without aces. Is that working? Okay. Double suited kings are 4-betting 60% of the time. If you remove the ace from it, we're 4-betting 51% of the time still. So double suited kings, quite an aggressive thing here. It's really mixed, but I think that Monker doesn't like the low connectivity here. So I'm going to opt for call. And you can see it's very, very close, actually. And you guys were right, 50-50 there. Chat is super right now. Toggy, how's it going? Hello, first time here. I love your YouTube videos. Thank you very much, Toggy. Hopefully you're going to participate as well here in the poll questions. So you can put in a 1, 2, or 3 in the chat in order to submit your answer. And over here, this will adjust to the chat then. On the one hand, you know, the 4-3 connectivity isn't that great. On the other hand, we're unblocking some of the rundowns we want our opponent to have. So it's interesting. Ace, Ace, 6-4 is a 4-bet. Ace, Queen, Queen 4 is a 4-bet, guys. We know that now. Ace, Jack, 3 is a fold. This is a fold. Actually, it's close. I shouldn't like skip these too hard because of the nuttiness. Nuttiness really matters. The pair of 4s and the nut flush draw. Okay, we're gonna move to this one, and then we're gonna move into a different spot. A lot of the kings without an ace are 4-betting in this spot. So much room, like 50%. I definitely have learned that we're folding more versus squeeze than I thought, and we're 4-betting also more aggressively than I thought so far in this spot. Seven, 7, 5, 3. Like these low pairs. I mean, I just think we're folding actually. You guys really don't like to fold, huh? Oh, double suited mid low pairs, 25% fold only. 25% fold only overall. I'm wrong. I'm just wrong. What are we folding in terms of 10, 8, 4, 4, Jack 8, 4, 4? It needs to be more disconnected. It looks like Jack 6, 3, 3, 10, 9, 4, 4, 8, 4, deuce, deuce. So it's just too connected essentially. Shoulder says it's connected and double suited. Yo, fold is not an option. Oh, Marcelo risking the ban, risking the timeout, risking a lot. I'm gonna give you a strategy on how I usually ban people. Okay, here's how I do it. I click on their name, and then see how many messages did he took in the chat, and you already took 861 messages. So it's gonna be okay. You know, you're okay. You're participating. You're a valuable part of the community. It's all good. If I click on this guy, we'll see 175%. You know, that's a good amount of messages. You're fine. You're safe. How about this one? 48. That's good. That's solid. You know. But if I see someone coming in there leaving a weird comment and he has like 2 messages so far overall, you will have a hard time. This thing is, well, is a fold. Yeah, come on, guys. Okay. Okay. Last hint in terms of squeezing. Wilty says, poo. Don't check me. Okay. Oh, 5 messages. You gotta be more interactive, dude. If you want to leave an edgy comment in the future, you gotta be more interactive. Maxio says, be relevant. 8 messages. Dude, you gotta calm down with those messages. Calm down, all right? Oh, look. Huklu, 7 messages, dude. Guys, you gotta be in there. Come on. This is interactive community here, and also a Twitch stream. What do you guys say? I would call this hand for sure. You guys are kind of torn in between folding and calling. I mean, we can't fold. It's too connected, yo. Call. Pretty clear. Most of you guys were right. We're going to close the spot down. Hopefully you learned something about this situation, which was facing the squeeze on the button. And we're going to move into the next spot. The big hand in discussion, guys. Oh. The big hand in discussion. No, did I lose it now? Because I closed the window. Wait, I can find it again in a second. Because that was kind of a weird spot. Because we folded a straight on a monotone board in a 4-bet pod, and it's like it was not enjoyable. I'm not sure if I can find it even now. So we had king 10 9 6. Let's just get to the bottom of it. So we have king 10 9 6 double suited, and we 3-bet in the small blind against so look. Button opens, we're in the small blind. We have king 10 9 6. Razu rating here. Thank you very much for the rate, and welcome everyone to a no delays PLO study stream. Hope you guys are going to enjoy your experience over here. We're reviewing the hands that I played today in party. King 10 9 6, clear 3-bet in the small blind versus button open, and he ended up 4-betting us. We call, and the flop was Queen Jack 8 with 3 diamonds, right? It's a very specific situation. I'm not sure if we... I mean, I could run a sim on it. Ross says, best PLO play ever. I appreciate it. Oh yeah, you can reopen it in the Chrome if you... Okay, thank you very much. I'm going to do that just in a moment. So, it's a 4-bet pot. I'm going to check my library if we do have the sim for it, but we probably don't. 4-bet pot, button versus small blind on a monotone board. We have... Is there a pick of your setup? Yeah, you can check it out on Instagram. And that's the thing, is like we're leading every single time. That's what I thought. We are leading every single time. That's the thing. The board is so good for us. We are leading our entire range. I mean, this is Jack 10-8, but the other one was Queen Jack 8. It's like a similar board. Small blind benefits substantially. And I'm not sure why I decided to check. Maybe because I'm a noob. Let me just see. I mean, we know what the flop was anyway. I would have, like, I had a straight, like, I should have just like lead out for 20%. But we check, and I think he did check back. Wait, was he betting? God, we're so bad. Like, if we were to lead a straight, right? SPR is around 1. Obviously, we're going to just stack off. Like, we lead for 20%, he goes all in, we're just going to stack off. Like, even if we have no flush. Just gonna ignore it. All right. We should have let the flop. Can't fold. It's tilting. Let's move to the next hand. Okay, so here we had 10-9-9-6 in the small blind. And my question is, what what should we do, guys, in this spot? He opens the button. We are in the small blind. Should we call or fold, call, or 3-bet before the flop? Most of you guys would call. I ended up 3-betting, right? And it's pretty nice looking hand at least. So look. So you guys saying call for the most part. 50% call and the rest is sort of between the other options. So click on new situation and load from database. Let me just position this correctly. Okay, here. Load from database. Fold, fold, fold. Button raises. We are going to download our response. Let's see. Okay, we have 10-9-9-6 double suited. And it is going to be 95% call. So I went for the obvious 5% 3-bet. You know, guys, I'm very balanced. Obviously, with a 7, we would definitely 3-bet this hand. Yeah, 3-bet, like 97% 3-bet with a 7. So it's not really about domination in this case against the button's range. It's more like about coverage of the board. And if we are better connected, we have, you know, more chances to hit stuff. Not a huge deal in this spot. I think it's a little bit of a light 3-bet, but okay overall. Then we have this hand here. One sec. In this spot, same question basically, which is button opens, we're in the small blind. Should we fold call 3-bet with ace, queen, queen 3 with a low suit? You guys mainly calling. I don't know, like, are we calling with a low suit? Like, I don't know. I don't know, man. So it's the same spot as here. No, was it button or was it cutoff, guys? Lol, I already closed it. Was it? I think, no, it's the button. It's the button, right? Button, yeah. Okay, so it's this situation here. We have ace, queen, queen. Okay. We're just going to start with ace, queen, queen, period, and see if there are any, like, what's going on there. And the answer is 28.6% of ace, queen, queen are calling. And ace, queen, queen, deuce. I should have closed it. Okay, is it ace, queen, queen, deuce, right? Single suited. Okay, 3. Okay, we're going to look into 3 in a moment. What? So pretty mixed right now. We will also have the functionality to actually use not suit and not suit here, but we don't have it now unless we do. Or we probably don't, but it should come pretty soon to increase precision through better syntax. you know. So you can see some of the low suits are over here. They are at 45% 3-bet. So it's a mix. Jay looks so wrecked from Monker. Hey. I'm good. I'm good. I'm streaming like longer than usual. But it's also smooth right now. All right, so we are okay with the 3-bet there. It's a mix. And now it gets actually really juicy. So, before you put in any numbers, let me just put in the poll. Don't get crazy. We open cutoff, button 3-bets, 100 big blinds deep. What should we do? Fold, call, or 4-bet? I ended up 4-betting, trying something out, running into the bullets. Ace, Jack, Jack, and losing $500. But what would you guys do? What would you guys do? What are you gonna do, guys? Very mixed here. Very mixed, guys. Mixed feelings. 12 votes so far. Come on, guys. Let's go. This is an interesting one. Put in a 1, 2, or 3 in chat. Gonna wait another 10 seconds. Put in the votes, guys. I was 4-betting. Like, it's enough connected to 4-bet, and if it would be much better connected, we would just go ahead and call. But I'm not sure if it's like the 5. The 5 is kind of this, you know, disturbing. Let's have a look. Shoulder with the 4-bet as well. The 5 is kind of disturbing, but I think it's still a 4-bet. So we click on new situation, and we're gonna say fold, fold, cutoff, raise, button 3-bet, fold, fold, and we download the response. $10,975. Was it $10,975? Sounds kind of like a $10,975. Kind of sounds like an ugly hand, but that's what it is, guys. You ready? Oh, it hurts. It hurts. So when you click on hide 0% frequencies, you can see the EV for 4-betting is -3, and for calling is -2.6. So there is some difference for sure. It seems like, yeah, 7.6, I agree. Yeah, we're gonna 4-bet all day long. Let's have a look. Yeah. And you can see the EV is way higher. You know, like 4-betting 10,975, apparently -3. 10,976, -1.4. So like quite a bit better there for sure. What did you guys say? You guys were like really in the mix of things, but most of you guys are saying call, and that is correct. This is also a tricky one, so let me explain what happened here. One sec. Here's the spot. Just gonna put out the options first. Okay, this is the hardest poll I've ever put out so far in terms, and also in terms of like there are 6 different options. Okay, that we can take on. Let me explain. Button opens, we 3-bet. Cool. He cold calls a 3-bet. He calls as well. Flop, 3-way, 170 in the middle. They both have a 420, 450 behind. So flop SPR is really low. It's like 2.5. Yeah, 2.5-ish. Even a little bit lower. And we are first to act. We have the not gut shot, not flush draw block, or backdoor flush draw option. You can go for number 1, check fold versus any action. Number 2, check raise versus 1 player, but then fold when 2 players go all in. Bet full pot and just stack off. Number 3. Number 4, bet half pot, stack off versus 1 player, but fold versus 2 players. Bet half pot and fold versus any shove, or check call the flop. Check off versus 1 player, basically. So many options. This is high level. This is high level stream. Okay, you gotta think this through, guys. Okay, think this really through, and choose the best option, the best course of action here, guys. Take your time. I'm gonna leave this up for another 30 seconds. Take your time, guys. Depends on sizing on option 6 versus half pot and 1 player only. Why isn't the option bet half pot and stack off versus anyone here? Because that would be pretty bad. To stack off against both players? Well, I mean, I would think so, at least. Most of you guys go with the course of action that I've chosen, which was 4. I bet half pot and then stack off versus 1. Should be 6, right? Then put in a 6. You have to put in the number 6. Only without a comment. Just like number 6. Like this way. I'm putting a number 4. So Cine, just put in 6 in the chat without any other comment. So it can actually account for your vote. I did put 6. Oh, okay, I guess upper. Oh yeah, sorry about that. Missed that. Well, let's investigate. Let's investigate. So I'm gonna bring up a sim. We're gonna do 3-bet pot, multi-way. And we're gonna assume we're in the small blind, button raised. No, wait. Yeah, and cutoff raise, button cold call, and we are squeezing because we have to account somehow for this like random cold call in between. And I think that's a pretty good way of doing it. We're out of position against 2 opponents. King 10, 6 is the board we have here, with the king being unsuited. So that's the best model we have at the moment here. So it starts off here with us checking 54% of the time overall. If we have the ace of diamonds without the nut flush draw, we're going to check also 51%. But in this case, a little bit different because we have ace, ace, queen, 3 with backdoor spades and with no flush draw, but the ace of diamonds. Close the poll. Close it. Hold it. You guys and me were wrong. It would be number 3, which is actually the least frequent chosen option, together with number 2. Maximus says, got it. We should do these. We're gonna find a way to award also some points to like the entire chat for like having the right one and stuff like that. We have to find something. You talk to Scrim tomorrow. I missed type 4. So we should just pot and get it in. Now, what if we didn't have the backdoor flush draw? That's really the question. So we don't have backdoor spades. And we're still potting. But if we pot and get jammed by 2, we're gonna call it off. What? The nut gut shot is just too valuable, I guess, with the ace of diamonds, which is... There wasn't an option to stack versus 2. No, it was number 3. Pot, stack off. Bet pot, stack off. Need coffee, sent help. All right. We ended up stacking off against this player here that had like 9-6 3 deuce double suited, but okay. Ended up winning the pot. So that was surprising. Wait, the SPR is quite a bit smaller in this situation. Wait. It is actually a little bit smaller. You're right. Holy moly, 1 second. Okay. Schuller brings up a point. I mean, obviously, 200 big blind steep, it would be different. Small blind scooters, cut off and button. I would have to download it. We're not going to do that right now. I could also like run a couple of sims, but that's like more like mastermind stuff, I guess. I think we might have been right actually, because the SPR was quite a bit higher. I mean, with backdoor spades, it might not actually. We could also just pot. But the SPR wasn't 3. The SPR was not 3, right? Wait, where's the spot? Did I close it? Oh, it's not this one. I closed it already. I'm the best. Anyway. 170, 400, it wasn't 470 in stacks. One guy had 420, and one guy had 450. I might have had 470, but they had actually less. But still, significantly over 2. Maybe I have to start running Sims for these streams, guys, on Twitch. I'm not sure if we can do this. All right. It's like, redo it. Listen. Last hand of today's stream, guy, okay? 50 big blind opens in the button. We 3-bet in the small blind. And... so, 50 big blinds. We 3-bet small blind versus button. What should or like flop action? So we can either check fold, lol, check raise, check call, or bet 33% or bet full pot. Or let's say 50%, bet 100%, or I don't know. I'm gonna say bet call small, bet call large, like in terms of sizing. So 50 big blinds, we 3-bet small bet versus button. What is the flop action? Should we check fold, check raise, check call? C-bet small and stack off, C-bet large and stack off. Sport, hard to pronounce it though. He's back though for 24 months, man. I haven't seen you in the chat though. Let's have a look here. Back in the days, 91 messages here. Thank you very much for the resubscription over here. How do you pronounce it? Let me know. I guess Orbital. Appreciate it. His name is not stack to pot ratio though. It's SP3 orbital. Wait, what? SP3. Like stack to pot ratio? Or what does SP mean? SP3, what does that mean? It's a chemistry term. SP3, there you go. We'll learn stuff, guys. In this one, most of you want to bet small and stack off. So instead of, well, 10-10-8 is actually a little bit different, but the gist of it is, as against a short stack, we don't really check. We just have too much equity and we don't care about polarity enough. We don't care about the fact that he might have trips, at least not on 10-8. You guys want to bet small and stack off, basically. Like if you, but I'm not sure. Like if we decide to not fold anyway, we rather just gain maximum protection and get value from the draws right now. Like aces without a spade. I don't know. It looks like, I mean, the most driest ones on the right is just potting. You have aces, queen three, no backdoor, like no spade, no diamond. We just pot. That's it. And the SPR here, well, the SPR is 1.5 instead of 2 as it is. It's actually less than 2. I know the board is different, but it's still, it looks like at this SPR we just don't care enough. Aces just need to go in and it needs to be a pot. And I decided to check the flop, and I don't think, yeah, pot calling has to be fine. I agree. It doesn't seem like we should have gone for small bet there, essentially. All right. If you guys enjoyed these graphs, if you guys enjoyed the tool, you can get it free in the mastermind if you are a member. If you're already in the mastermind, then definitely check it out in the bucket tool section, which is over here. Just go to in the lab, bucket tool tutorials, and in here you will find the tool download and also the post-flop ranges to train post-flop as well as pre-flop. Obviously, this tool is in beta stage. We're improving it all the time. And there's actually a big update about to be released. And if you guys want to learn more about Pot Limit Omaha, I would greatly suggest to join us in the PLO Mastermind at jnandespoker.com. It is a subscription membership, $99 a month. No sign-up fee. You can quit or stop or pause at any point. And join our community over here. We have a ton of content in here, a lot of members at the moment, over 1,000 members in the PLO Mastermind are actively in there, over 500 coaching videos from Scholaralt, from Fabian, from Luke, from myself, different stakes, different coaches, and we have 5 uploads every single week. We have live streams, we have session review formats over here, a course called Crushing Small Stakes PLO by Luke that releases a new episode every week, sometimes multiple ones. You can see at the moment we have 8 episodes from Luke in the course Crushing Small Stakes PLO. And we have a lot of quizzes, around 400 different quizzes. And those quizzes are basically educational, which means if you go into the quizzes, which you can also do very well on your phone, by the way. Let me just go a little bit like this. You basically get text in combination with quizzing. So here, Luke gives you, first of all, some text, sometimes some graphs, some better learning. For example, this one is big blind versus button, single raise, pot out of position. So we are in the big blind versus the button. On which flop should you lead the most often versus the button? Oh, wow. Well, last poll here about this one here. Wait, did I close the poll? 1 second. I'm going to do one more poll, guys. Which flop should you lead the most? So it will be A, B, or C. Let me know, guys. Which flop should you lead the most often from the button versus the against the button versus the big when you are in the big blind? Single raise pot. Which flop do you want to lead the most often? 5-5-10, 5-5-6, or King Queen Queen? So these quizzes are very often connected to a course, basically. So you will get some more context there. Most of you guys would like to lead the most in 5-5-6. I would agree. 5-5-6. I'm going to put in a 2. Let's have a look. We're going to say flop B. Correct. Flop B should have the highest lead frequency versus the button, 11%. Flop A, which is 10-5-5, should have a lead of 3% only, while the flop C, King, Queen, Queen, should have a lead frequency of 1%. Depending on the RFI position of your villain, these frequencies will change. And then you can see basically button versus big blind flop strategy on 9-9-8. So this is now 9-9-8 two-toned. And you can see how often you're supposed to lead strong mate hands, or what line you should take actually. Lead percentage 18% of strong mate hands, not flush draw 18%. So very low frequency leads overall. Like not flush draw, it's check calling basically. No, check raising 20% and then check calling 80% of the time. So that's pretty impressive there. We're not playing that aggressive, I guess. What is check raising a lot? 8x blocker, 25%, because I guess check calling is less good. Yeah. And then basically you can get to the next quiz and so on and see, like what is your move here on the flop? Lead half pot, check fold, check call, check raise. And again, these also look really good on the phone. I'm not sure if I can replicate this like this. Yeah, it's going to look like this on your phone essentially. And you can go through around 400 quizzes in the PLO Mastermind. If you are already in the Mastermind, and I know a lot of you guys are, then definitely check out these quizzes also on your phone. I tried them before and it actually looks really great on your phone. And you can just do them on the way. So don't miss out on the hundreds of quizzes we have in the Mastermind, and also take advantage of them because they're pretty cool on the go as well. And I would say that's pretty much it, guys. Check out the Mastermind, head in there, and get some more PLO training. I will be back next week, maybe tomorrow. Actually, tomorrow, definitely not, unless I'm streaming really early, but usually I don't. Maybe I am tomorrow, who knows? But I also got a lot of stuff to do as well. Yeah, next week, if you guys want to see some more PLO content over in the Mastermind, I'm just gonna leave you guys Mastermind thing here, and we are out. Guys, enjoy the weekend, take care, and bye-bye.